Fish on.
Fish. It's time to fish.
Every angler has a favorite time of the year to chase fish with a fly. Whether it be during the blossoming spring, during the green of summer, the colors of autumn, or during the cleansing white of winter. It merely offers a backdrop to a pursuit that has attached itself to the soul of a fly fisherman. Rod, reel, fly, and fish.
Oh, there's a big fish.
Oh, big fish.
There we go.
Big fish.
Under that log, behind that rock, or deep in the dark blue could lie the fish of a lifetime. It's in that helpless hope that the angler will march from year to year through a lifetime, hoping the next cast connects dreams and a fish of legend. Welcome to Seasons on the Fly.
Oh, there we go.
Big fish, big fish. Follow him.
Wow. Big fish. Welcome to Seasons on the Fly. I'm Greg Heister. The king salmon. It's beginning to go the way of the albatross these days. These fish are becoming harder and harder to find, even here in the great state of Alaska. This week we're with Larry Larson of Wild Alaska Sport Fishing and Cruises, and we have found a few of those kings. This is Seasons on the Fly, and welcome to Alaska's Inside Passage.
Fish. Fish on. Whoa, yes, yeah.
Atta boy!
Oh, yeah. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You think it's a king?
Yeah. It's bright.
All right. Give him his head, Larry. Give him his head.
Southeast Alaska is ground zero for the greatest salmon runs in the world. The Inside Passage in Alaska acts as a corral herding these fish home. The king salmon is the bull in these waters.
A nice little king.
It is a king.
It's a nice little king.
Nice.
Oh, beautiful.
Way to go.
Beautiful. I saw the shadow back there.
Those fish, they fight like no other salmon. They taste like no other salmon. They have the highest fat content in their meat, high in omega-3s, so they're healthy to eat. But I can smell a king salmon when you bring him into the boat. It's an herbal smell, and I light up all over when I see that purple back on that Salt Run king.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Yes.
The king is just that, the largest of the 6 Pacific Ocean salmon if you include the steelhead. They fight to the end.
They're all beautiful fish.
Come on. Come on, mouth. Be nice to me. Okay, there's a head. There's a head. Yes! Attaboy, Greg.
Nice.
Nice fish. Woo. My favorite fish, Greg.
They're hard to find. There are not many of them, and to find them where you can see them, to sight cast to them, close to shore, in the shallows where they're actively feeding, it takes a little effort, it takes some work. To find him in 18, 20 feet of water, as we did, it's a special deal. It's a wonderful experience.
That is the beauty of Alaska and searching for salmon in saltwater. You may think you know what you're targeting, but when a fish eats your fly, you can never be certain what it is until you see it.
Fish.
Fish on. Fish on,
It's a
yes.
brighty, too.
It's a nice bright fish. Attaboy, Greg.
And that brings us to possibly the
Attaboy.
most underappreciated fish in this state, the chum salmon, or what is called by many the dog salmon, because in the Alaskan native culture they were often fed to dog teams. But out here, they find their place in greatness.
He's a strong fish, Larry. He wasn't really acting strong.
Now
right
you
when I
got
hooked
him. Now you got him aggravated.
No, he's
Now you
ticked.
got him.
And I think that's what's great about this environment is so often you're fishing, you're not quite sure what's going to grab the fly. And if you don't see the fish, and often times we didn't this trip, there was a lot of blind fishing. You're not quite sure what grabs the fly. And so there's great anticipation in that.
A lot of life. These fish just don't get the credit they're due.
No, look at that.
There we go. Attaboy.
Nice.
There's probably 12 or 15,000 chum salmon caught by sport anglers in Alaska each year, as opposed to tens of millions of them harvested commercially. And so they're overlooked, and some people attach a stigma to them that, it's a junk fish. Well, they make great table fare, especially for the smoker, and they're the second largest of the Pacific salmon. They fight much like a king, and so they're a heck of a good time, especially on a fly.
Yeah.
Catching these fish in saltwater is another world compared to pursuing them in freshwater. In a river, they may not leave the pool that you hook them in, but when you hook them here, they may dive for China.
Here, just
Oh, he ate it!
we got fish on. Excellent.
It's Mr. Chum, but
Chum lay. Sure is.
Wow. Wow, did he take me right to the bottom?
Sure did.
Can't get over how strong
Wow.
these chums are. Look at that.
Nice dog.
I got a good hook in it.
Oh, he's gone.
No. Oh, right under the boat.
When Seasons on the Fly continues, the killer whales of the Inside Passage, a king salmon to never be forgotten, and fishing in a bathtub when we come back. Greg Heister here. Find out the truth about chronic Lyme disease. Go to seasonsonthefly.com. Seasons on the Fly is brought to you by Loop. Join the Loop Army and help take North America by storm. And by Next IT, intelligently guiding people to answers. Hi there. Don't let the Seasons on the Fly experience end when the show does. Go to the brand new seasonsonthefly.com and watch fly tying demonstrations, a few full episodes, and be sure to pick up a hat or season 1 on DVD and support the show. And remember, we've got a Facebook page. Go there, click like, and stay in touch with us. I really appreciate you supporting the show, and I hope to see you on the river sometime. The Inside Passage encompasses over 1,400 square miles in British Columbia and Alaska. It's actually a coastal route for cargo ships, cruise ships, and ferries. These ships are able to weave their way north or south, avoiding the harsh seas of the Pacific Ocean. It's also called the Inland Passage, which is in reference to early explorers and their hopes of finding a passage between the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. Ships may ride the upper reaches of the water column here, but this is a thoroughfare for whales as well, the humpback and the orca, just to name a few.
Came across what may have been a super pod. Those fish were spread out over 5 or 6 miles, all headed in the same direction, looking for feed, and we had a great whale ship.
That was so awesome.
When you see a whale close up, it's an experience. They're so large compared to what you are, and you can see them so close, it's like you can touch them, but you hear the sounds and then you see the whale, and
There you go.
you watch them sound and try and get your photographs and see if you can capture them in the moment. It's hard, but you definitely remember it.
From the 1,000-foot-long cruise ship to a bathtub, all vessels can cruise the Inside Passage. Sort of.
So you want me to begin? Okay, where do I start this?
Hey, it's a drift boat.
It is.
It's a drift boat.
It is a
That's
drift
what we
boat.
gotta think. We just gotta think it's a drift boat. Can you see those fish?
Yeah, gorilla and ballerina shoes is what
And then I'm gonna fall in.
Well, we've got a little fleet of vessels in wild Alaska, ranging from a 90-foot yacht down to our 14-foot skiffs. And we use those skiffs for a variety of uses. This week, we thought it'd be fun for two fully grown fly fishermen and a cameraman to climb in one and go out and try to fish out of a bathtub. The challenges that presented are probably apparent in what we shot for video this week.
We throw another full-size guy in there with a 25-pound camera on his back, and now we're going to try to shoot a TV show out of it. It became quite comical at times, and I'm sure you'll see that throughout the show. It was a great time. Good stuff. It made it even more memorable than it wouldn't have been if we would have been in this 30-foot boat and had plenty of room.
There he is.
The waters of the Inside Passage are so alive, full of life. Birds, whales, salmon. There we go.
Fish on.
Chum.
What do you
Fish in the
got?
water. That's Mr. Chum salmon.
Hey, a chum.
Now, I didn't realize they can turn colors like this in saltwater, Larry.
Yeah, it has.
The chum salmon, also called the dog or Kata salmon, and it's often marketed as the silver bright salmon. Chum is a term that means spotted or marked in a pigeon trade language of the Pacific Northwest. You can see these fish glisten silver when fresh, but when they prepare to spawn, they don stripes and a fierce-looking hide.
A bright chum salmon is often mistaken for another species, a sockeye or a coho, because they're so beautiful. But as they become mature, they start to develop those tiger stripes, those purple and green stripes, a pronounced kype, the big canine teeth, and they turn a little ugly. Their flesh isn't as bright orange as a king salmon or sockeye, and so they're frowned on.
Chum salmon become mature in Alaska in 5 years. They can grow to be 20 pounds or more. They fight as well as any of the salmon. If table fare is not the purpose and pursuit is for sport, these fish are as good as they come.
Oh, I love that he ate this fly. I love the fact that he ate this one. Got polar bear hair in there, a rabbit strip. Well, it's Alaska, right? I mean, it's the last frontier. And for me, this is the greatest place in the world, bar none, to fish. I think there are more fish here. I think it suits me as an angler better than being in some tropical environment where there's a lot of sun. And then it's the environment. I mean, it's not just the fish. The whole thing's an experience when you come here. You know, with whales and bears and the eagles and everything that lives along an ocean. I mean, it's just a tremendous experience. Fishing almost becomes secondary when you're in these places. It really does.
When Seasons on the Fly continues, the glaciers of the Inside Passage, the disappearing king salmon, and the black bass are game when we come back.
Hi there. Go to seasonsonthefly.com and support our sponsors. Without them, this show is impossible. Find their logo, click on it, go to their website, and buy their product. Let them know that you learned about them through our show. And thank you for watching Seasons on the Fly.
Seasons on the Fly brought to you by the Baja Pirates. Here's your chance to fish the aquarium of the world. And by Buck Knives. That cut pretty much says it all. The glaciers of the world may be disappearing, and the recession of ice continues here as well. But glaciers are still a great attraction in the Inside Passage.
We visited Tracy Arm, a storied glacier here in southeast Alaska, a fjord about 25 miles long that at its head has two tidal glaciers, spectacularly beautiful. A lot of tourists will visit that fjord and the glaciers, and it's one of the most memorable parts of our trips.
Look, he got a piece of iceberg. Great, guys.
If you're fortunate enough to come in May, early June, you'll be able to see the seals having their pups. They'll swim all the way to near the glaciers, where there are a lot of icebergs, and climb aboard those icebergs, have their young, and when we visit the glacier, we'll see dozens of these mother seals with their tiny little pups lying on the icebergs, and it makes for a fantastic photo experience.
It's time to fish.
This is a reef.
The beauty of these waters is that there are always fish around. They're stratified, and at every level you'll find a grab,
Fish on.
or two, or three.
Real fish on.
Today, the black rockfish
Fish
are
on.
in the mood, and when you find them, they're hard to keep off your fly.
Oh, those I was talking about earlier.
Whoa!
All right. Yeah,
Larry calls me, right? We've got to be pretty good buddies now. And he says, Heister, we got a chance to go out and catch king salmon in the salt. I've never caught a king salmon in the salt, but an opportunity to catch them in saltwater with a fly rod is extremely unique, extremely rare, so it was a no-brainer. We had to come.
Did you see him, Richie? Did you see him?
King. That was
That's
a
a
king.
king.
It's a fish that may spend a year, or it may spend 8 years in the ocean.
Oh, come on.
Most commonly, they return to freshwater in 3 to 4 years, but in Alaska, they don't return like they used to.
Take it, baby. One there. Come on, take it, take it, take it. Look at him come.
The good old days of king salmon fishing, it's a dirty little secret that they're behind us, I'm afraid. The numbers of king salmon throughout Alaska and the Pacific Northwest have declined over the past half dozen years in a way that worries me. We've seen the days just a half a dozen years ago when we could go out and take our limited kings in a morning's fishing. And now those numbers are cut by 300 or 400%. It's a tougher fish to find. If you take a look around at any of these fishing ports in Alaska, I think you'll find the real reason. And that is they're simply overfished.
That's my right or left?
There he is. That was a king.
There you go.
Kings are a meat eater. They forage on herring and needlefish. Generally a fish that likes to stay deep. When they come into water that you can get a fly to them, it's one of the most electric experiences there is.
Boy, that was right in his nose.
There he is. There he is. Take it.
Oh, fish!
There we go. Fish on.
We had literally just gotten on the water, I don't know if it had been 15 minutes, and we just paddled our way into the little cove, and I looked up and there's one solo king just kind of cruising around, looking for something to eat, and it was one simple cast. And that fish turned right around and grabbed it, and he ran, I don't know, 50 yards.
Twice that time, Larry, and we were right in him.
But when they come back as mature adults, we'll find them swimming along steep rock cliffs, sometimes rocky beaches, and they'll push bait fish against those rocks, and that's where we find them, and they're actively feeding. You'll see them busting bait schools. Bait on the surface is one of the first indications
That's easy,
kings
20 pounds,
in the
Larry.
area. And that's where we went. That's what we went to, and that's where we can see them in sight cast.
Is this what we came for?
That's the first king in saltwater on fly for me, bud.
The first.
Yeah, it's a first. That's a first.
Congratulations.
This fish may not be as acrobatic as the silver salmon, but when you hook them, you know that you've tied into a piece of Alaska, a fish that symbolizes the great nature of this land and the cultures that have lived here. Like Montana's elk, the king is Alaska's symbol of nobility, pride, and health. Seasons on the Fly continues after this. Seasons on the Fly brought to you by Dry Fly, handcrafted spirits made in the Pacific Northwest, and by Wild Alaska Sport Fishing and Cruises. Come find the real Alaska.
Fish on.
Fish. It's time to fish.
The Inside Passage is a fertile cut through the beauty and rugged nature of Alaska. More than 1,000 islands dot and slit this landscape. Names like Admiralty and Baranof indicate a time of exploration and adventure here. The day has changed. It's all mapped and named, but it remains one of the great wilderness areas of the world. Only the king of this wilderness is in trouble.
So the fish on. Attaboy.
Fish.
Sometimes to get someone's attention, I'll ask them how they would feel if 90 or 95% of all the elk tags in their state went to commercial harvest instead of sportsmen?
Oh, that's a little king,
It's a
isn't it?
little king, I think.
That gets their attention. And I say, well, it's even a greater disparity here in Alaska, where less than 1% of the fishery is consumed by sport fishing, and the balance is commercially consumed.
Oh, baby. There we go.
We as sportsmen need to recognize that we can't feed the world with wild fish. It needs to be realized that sport fishing is ultimately the best economic use of the resource, and without doubt, it's the best environmental and stewardship-based use of the resource.
Okay, Greg. Should we send this one back to make some more babies?
I'm Greg Heister. I'll see you next time on Seasons on the Fly.
There you go. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead, girl. There she goes. There's a king to live and promote the species right there. Right on.
Yeah, for sure.